In the quiet parts of northern Nigeria, silence has been shattered by the sound of gunfire and desperate cries for help. Within days, the country once again found itself on edge. It made global headlines after a wave of brazen attacks swept through the rural communities. Gunmen struck 2 schools, dragged dozens of terrified students into the forests, their futures suddenly uncertain. Then, as though chaos had no bounds, a church service turned into a scene of bloodshed, leaving families grieving and fearful. The kidnappings, hundreds of men, women, and children taken in such a short span of time, sent shockwaves across the nation. Just last Friday, gunmen abducted over 300 students and teachers from a Catholic co-educational school in the Niger state, in one of Nigeria's largest mass kidnappings ever. The victims are boys and girls aged 8 to 18 years, and they account for nearly half of St. Mary's total enrollment of 629 students. 50 children escaped captivity and are now with their families. On Monday last week, in a separate incident, armed men stormed a predominantly Muslim girls' school in northwest Kebbi State and kidnapped 25 students. It was the first mass school kidnapping since the March 2024 abduction of 200 students in northern Kaduna. Also on the same day last week, another armed gang abducted 64 people. This included women and children, and they were kidnapped from their homes in Zamfara state, which borders Kebbi. Then on Tuesday, gunmen attacked the Christ Apostolic Church in central Kwara state. Now this happened during a service. 2 people were killed and 38 worshippers were abducted. The religiously diverse country of 230 million people is the scene of long brewing conflicts that have killed both Christians and Muslims. And often, these killings have been indiscriminate. Now, the resurgence of mass kidnappings came at the uneasy aftermath of US President Donald Trump's warning.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria.
Trump's threat of military action against Nigeria was voiced in response to what he described as the killing of Christians by radical Islamists. This sent ripples through the nation's political landscape. Now, most of northern Nigeria covers over 20 of the country's 36 states, and it's blanketed by insecurity. Daily life is disrupted, including travel and even the occupation of farming. In the northwest, armed gangs without any known religious or political motives carry out ransom kidnappings and hide in the forests. To the northeast, ultra-hardline Islamist militant groups like Boko Haram and the Islamist State West Africa province are waging an insurgency that has created Nigeria's largest humanitarian crisis. So far, it has displaced over 2 million people and tens of thousands have been killed over 15 years. Now, ISWAP, or ISWAP, has captured and executed an army general on November the 14th this year. In central Nigeria, where mostly Muslim north meets the largely Christian south, there are deadly clashes over region, over ethnicity, and access to land and water. One of the first mass kidnappings that drew international attention was back in 2014, when nearly 300 girls were abducted from their boarding school in the northeastern town of Chibok by Boko Haram jihadists. Since 2014, Nigeria has recorded hundreds of more such cases, with armed gangs targeting vulnerable population, and all of this for ransom. Now, these gangs rampage throughout poorly policed rural areas. So far, no group has claimed responsibility for the kidnapping yet. However, some videos are circulating on social media, and these people are claiming to be the abductors. Survivors of the last Catholic school attack say the gang descended under the cover of darkness, moved swiftly and without any mercy. Within moments, chaos erupted as the assailants rounded up their victims, forcing them onto buses, vans, and motorcycles before vanishing into the thick of the night. Both jihadists and criminal gangs known locally as bandits are involved in kidnapping in northern regions. In the northwestern rural areas, roaming groups of bandits staged deadly raids on villages, kidnapping people for ransom and looting their cattle. Their primary focus is money. Now, banditry mainly grew out of land conflicts between farmers and herders. Since 2011, as arms trafficking increased and the wider Sahel region fell into turmoil, the gangs became more organized. Several possible explanations are being given for the sudden upsurge in kidnappings. Some blame Trump's remarks about mass killings in Nigeria. Analysts believe it may have inadvertently instigated opportunistic armed groups that are seeking to exploit international narratives by attacking soft targets. Some security analysts say the armed groups are trying to hold large numbers of captives as potential human shields in case the US acts on its threat of airstrikes. There are also some commentators who link the upsurge in violent killings to the 2027 upcoming general elections. New theories seem to be creeping into these puzzles every day, and the dust is far from settling down. But the question still remains, what will happen to the children still abducted? And what becomes of their future?